So one of the history-making things that happened this year was, for the first time ever, a person who was born in the old Soviet Union was elected to the United States Congress. She is Congresswoman-elect Victoria Spartz. She was born in Ukraine, now represents the 5th District in Indiana, and she joins us now. Congratulations to you. We appreciate you coming in. We were excited by your victory. And I have to say, I don't know of one individual, including my wife, who escaped from communism, who was not scared to death with the move by some members of Congress to move this country closer to communism through socialism. Is that one of the things that inspired you to run?
Yes, I'll tell you, thank you for having me. It's unfortunate for me was to see, I was standing my 42 years old, being 42 years old. I grew up in socialist system. I saw what happens to the system when it falls apart, and it's only a matter of time. And Soviet Union lasted 70 years, and it fell apart, and it hit country with a lot of resources. This system is just a matter of time before they fail. The misery, destruction it brings, and poverty, and really bloodshed, that's what really socialism brings. And then I came to the United States, to the greatest economy, to the most, and republic with the most freedoms and successes for people and rights and opportunities. And then we are moving to the left, building socialism. Just broke my heart. Socialism, all it creates is equality in misery.
Well, let me just push back, as I'm sure you're going to get pushback from some of your fellow Congresspeople, including those of the Squad, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and others, who say that their style of socialism is different, that they are for Democrat socialism, not the authoritarian or totalitarian type that you escaped from. They're advocating something totally different, to which you would say what?
No difference between, how you name it, right? There are a lot of names been used in the last century for socialism. And unfortunately, people don't understand the basis of socialism and who controls the markets and who a consumer and prices controlled by consumers and private enterprise, or by the government and political elites. And that's what the difference is. And when you create larger government, it tends to serve better, larger special interests and rich and wealthy. And if you look at any socialist country, when my husband traveled back to former Soviet Union, he was surprised that a lot of people, still had no running water and used outhouses. So that's create no wealth for low and middle class, and only creates political elites and people on top. So that is just inherent nature of the system controlled by large government.
So what you're saying essentially is that authoritarianism is the inevitable consequence of a move towards socialism. A lot of people would agree with you, but again, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in your first meeting with Ocasio-Cortez and the other socialists that are members of Congress. But some people say we've seen a preview of what authoritarianism in the United States would be through the pandemic. That is, these autocratic decisions made by Governor Cuomo, made by the governor of California, and others who are, as you suggest, favor some companies and lock down others. Everything is so arbitrary, and that's very similar to the way things were done in the Soviet Union, right?
It's exactly, and actually it was a glimpse of socialism that our country experienced. And if you want to force people to do something, right, if you want us, all people are different. We want different things, travel to different places, eat different food. If you want to force people to do something, to have equal outcomes, you have to use some way of suppression. So any socialist system that has to become, totalitarian in nature, and different tools can be used, but that's the only way. Only strong and totalitarian governments can force people to do something that people don't want to do, or make a choice for people. So it always leads to big government and big government control.
Well, I pray that the people in Congress who are persuaded by socialism listen to you, because you've been there, you know what you're talking about. As they say, people who don't know the past are doomed to relive it. And if we relive the